there's something that we're going to show in this record that very few people, I think, know about.
I think you showed me this in college.
Yeah, and you have to do it. You have to look at it a certain way, or you won't see the imagery. It's really cool.
Okay.
Anyway, this is
special
obviously.
Effects. We might have to edit special effects.
Yeah, I think we're going to make a mirror on the screen so everybody can see what we're looking at. So this is obviously one of the greatest albums, and some might say the greatest. This is definitely Sgt. Pepper's level. And one of the things that's so fascinating about this record too is it's one of those that they didn't put any information on at all. There's nothing written.
There's nothing
anywhere.
on
I don't
there.
think there's anything even on the side. Yeah, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing on this album telling you who this band is. Not a thing.
So what is this? You see it on the shelf and you're like, guy with a bunch of sticks on his back?
Yeah. And then when you open it up, you realize that this is like a wall that's kind of torn out, and then you see the cityscape. I want to see if this. I got to look real quick and see where we are on this. We can see the whole thing.
See it in there?
Good. I got it set up so we can see the whole record. So that's the whole album. Of course, this is Led Zeppelin's fourth album. Now, it's really not called Led Zeppelin IV. It's really not called anything. It's I've seen it called Runes. I've seen it called Zoso. I've seen it called Four. I've seen it called Unnamed. It's all that, or what's the other thing? Something like Images or Symbols or something like that. Because 4 signs. Yeah. Because they have the 4 different
sticks,
the symbols that represent each of the
That's right.
each of the guys. But anyway, what an interesting album cover to have, and then once again be one of the greatest albums ever made.
But I think it goes again. I mean, you have the Stones that we just covered, and this is, where it's kind of like almost comical. This is like so understated, it leads to, and I think Led Zeppelin's one of those bands, especially because when the song remains the same, that's the movie, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of that imagery and stuff that's, in that era, it's kind of left up to your imagination. So what does this all mean? Like, remember we were talking about the packaging that Led Zeppelin had with Peter Green. Like this
Peter Grant.
Peter Grant. Why did I say Peter Green?
Was it? Yeah, Peter Green's
He's somebody else. Yeah,
yes.
All right. Sorry, Peter Green. No offense, but
Was it Peter Green, Fleetwood Mac? Isn't that who we're talking? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I don't know where I got it mixed up.
Okay.
Yes, but the manager. I mean, the thing is that here you have a completely understated album cover, and like you said, leads a lot to the imagination. What is this? What is this going to sound like? Because it goes back to the experience at the store. You're looking at this, and I mean, they might have had something on, like a banner saying "New Led Zeppelin album." You're going,
and on the shrink wrap, I think it said Led Zeppelin. That little sticker. But other than that, there was no indication who this was,
or what it was going to sound like.
But they were approaching legend status at this point anyway. That people knew who they were.
But Led Zeppelin III was completely kind of one of those strange.
Yep.
Because it had the circle and that was a whole different package, which is kind of cool. But at the same time, you're looking at it and going, because Led Zeppelin 3 has a lot of acoustic and a lot of slower types. So now you come out with this bombastic Black Dog, like
hey mama, send the way you move. I mean it goes
going
straight into
back,
this kind of bluesy.
Goes back to Led Zeppelin 1,
which
was rock and roll, super awesome.
Lots of blues. And then you have Black Dog, you have When the Levee Breaks, that driving blues. So much cool stuff. So let's go ahead, actually let's pull the album out and just look at the track list real quick. This is interesting on the inside and here's what we were talking about a second ago, the symbols. This is why some people think this is the name of the album, and each one of these symbols actually represents
one of the guys.
One of the guys. Of course, this is your Jimmy Page, this is your John Paul Jones, this is your John Bonham, and that's your Robert Plant. Did I get that right? For some reason, I haven't thought about this in 40 years, and I'm questioning myself.
I would get them wrong, but I would.
Somebody will correct me and tell me that I'm really stupid. So funny. I posted that little video the other day that we did of Styx in a Styx forum. all this hateful stuff about it. I'm like, dude, I thought it was kind of interesting. Anyway, people get pretty obnoxious just because they feel like they can. So I'll get that wrong, and I'll be like, what an idiot! Has no.
How can you talk about Led Zeppelin and not have it
not
right?
know?
Hey, we're doing this without a net. We're drawing on 40-year-old memories
and stuff.
I mean, did I write this on my notebook in school?
We did at the time, yeah.
Yeah.
We knew everything. It was crazy.
But,
so anyway, let's go through this track list real quick because you can't, because Black Dog, like classic Led Zeppelin tune. Everybody in the world's heard that song.
Yeah.
It has that weird stuff in the middle where they go out of beat and then they come back together. It's like so great.
And the reverse drum thing, I remember always listening, people saying, in Black Dog, when they do, like, John Bonham plays like a reverse drum beat.
because they switch time signatures, and then they kind of lose and they come back together, and it's so crazy.
But I remember, guys like Matt or other drummer friends like, you need to listen to this section. He reverses a drum beat where instead of the kick drum and the snare, it's opposites, the snare and
maybe that's what it is, but they do this. Yeah, they do that thing where it goes,
really
where it feels
weird.
like it stumbles for a second, and then all of a sudden they're back with each other. It's
Isn't that what it makes it? Exactly.
It's amazing.
That's what makes it awesome.
Rock and roll. Been a long time since I rock and roll, and everybody knows the lonely, 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 lonely time. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, and the
thing.
drum fill at the end.
And interestingly, I've played that song in so many bands, and trying to understand the timing because the drums, it starts out with the drums, and trying to understand which beat you come in on for the guitar is so hard. It is the weirdest thing. I was in a band once where we sit there and he would count it out, and it was this weird moment where you just go, and you had to hit it just right or you were gone.
Yeah,
and then you kind of stumble through the first couple of measures and okay, now we're together.
Find your groove. No, but I think isn't that what makes this album incredible? It's just these songs seem simple, sound simple, but they're not. They are, each piece kicks so much ass. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And
hey, Steve,
the
you
nuances,
mind just hitting like don't answer or off or something? I don't know who'd be calling me right now, but okay.
Well, last time it was Davy Jones, right? Now it's
I don't know.
I think John Bonham.
We're talking about dead musicians. So
here at Random Records, 3 Random Records,
and
we are in touch with the past.
So
they love us so much.
The Battle of Evermore.
Oh.
When I was a kid, I didn't like that song. The older I got, the more I realized that might be the best song on this album. I love that. It's so brilliant. It's so good. The way Robert Plant and that woman, I don't even know her name, but the way Sandy Denny, the way they interplay with each other and the lyrics, and oh my god.
It is a cool song. It is a cool
song.
But before we move on, rock and roll, Jimmy Page's solo is like, it's like buried in the mix. I never understood that. Yeah, he's playing all this stuff, and I'm going, hello? Yeah, I'm like, where are you, Jimmy? Like,
it is weird because he starts out really low.
Yeah.
I've tried to play it before to know, because I can't hear it correctly to do it. So it's kind of, because it's really, really understated. Yeah.
But it's there. I mean, this is the guitar solo, but it's so deep in the mix where all the other stuff's kind of going on. You're like, how come it's not like up front? For whatever reason, if Jimmy wants to call in,
did it that way,
and wants to let us know the secret behind the rock and roll solo buried in the mix, feel free to chime in
let
as
us
well. Battle of Evermore.
Battle of Evermore was just, I still to this day think that's one of their greatest tunes. And there was a version of this on Singles? Yes, it came out in the 90s. Mm-hmm. That was also top shelf, incredible execution. It was done so well. It's beautiful. Find it, listen to it. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm thinking of, there was a Led Zeppelin, like everybody picked a song like Sheryl Crow and stuff, and I was thinking of, I can't remember what but it came out like late 90s. I thought it was like almost like a tribute album, I guess is what they call them. And I just was, can't remember, but I think that's what it was. Yeah, I had some pretty star-studded people. Yeah, redoing some of these, but Stairway to Heaven.
Actually, somebody redid Stairway to Heaven called, I barely even want to mention it because it was such a waste of time and it was such an awful thing to redo this song. But they had, in the 80s, they were called the Far Corporation. and they put out Stairway to Heaven. It was so weird. Like, dude, don't touch that one.
Yeah, no one. But that's like
because.
Yeah, no.
Oh well, that one.
Yeah, that
at
one.
The Kennedy Center. I played that for my daughter one night, and she actually teared up. I watched that and I tear up. It's because when you get to the end and the chorus comes in, the thing lifts and the chorus, you're like, oh my! I mean, it's so
a great song.
It's one of the most that was perhaps outside of this the greatest execution of that song ever done.
It's a really
moving.
great version.
It is so moving the way they put that together, and of course Jason plays on it.
Yeah.
So, which is pretty cool.
Look, I mean, talking about building, I mean, can you get a song that starts out?
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a Stairway to Heaven.
And it's like
the Mellotron in there with the flutes.
But it's building up all the time.
And you know what, Jimmy Page is. We could do a whole show on the song, and it's unfortunate that we can't just sit and talk about this. But Jimmy Page talks about this, that they set out to break one very specific rule, which was keeping the tempo the same through the whole tune. He didn't want to do that. This was intentionally going to start out at one speed and end at a different speed, and it was going to speed up as the song went. And to have a drummer that has the ability to just slowly creep up speed ever so slightly, you don't even notice it.
Yeah.
That by the end of this thing, the energy that is coming out of this song, and as it went on down the road, Plant comes in with that stuff, that guitar solo, da-na-na, leaning into it. Oh my gosh.
No, it's
and the lyrics,
awesome.
The lyrics, Robert Plant was a great lyricist. Getting back to what we were saying about, because similarly, he was making references to very intelligent things. It wasn't just stupid crap. I mean, these were very, very thoughtful, beautiful songs, and Stairway to Heaven was, one of the greatest songs ever recorded by a rock band.
Ever. No, without a doubt. I mean, it's like voted the #1 rock song in just about every poll, and rightfully so, because of all the things we just touched on. The lyrics, the speed, the tempo, it starts out
If there's
all
a bustle
dreamy.
in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now. It's just a spring clean for the May Queen. Yeah. I mean, where do you come up with that?
I don't know. I've got a bustle in my hedgerow. I don't know where that comes from. I mean, somebody writes that. I mean, that's pretty amazing lyrically.
It's so good.
Then
of course,
side 2,
Missy Mountain Hop. I played that in a band once, and it had some weird time signature stuff too. Great song. Similarly, great lyrics.
No, it's a great song. I like it.
Matter of fact, I should have thought about this before, but just then a policeman came up to us, said, "Hey, now," said, "Would we care to?" "Oh, get in line. We asked him to stay for tea and have some fun." Oh my gosh, it was great. 4 Sticks. I can never sing that one when I hear it. That's the only one on here that I couldn't just start ripping out. That's a cool tune. Going to California.
Is a great song.
It's great in every possible way. The lyrics are beautiful. The guitar playing is beautiful.
Right.
Going to California with an aching in my heart, man, just wow. And then, of course,
when the levee breaks.
Just that bluesy.
We talked about that. It's
just so good, man.
So good.
So then,
and I think this is, considered, as you said, one of the greatest albums of all time, because they're all hitting their stride. There's so many little nuances here that as you listen to, because an average person listens to it is thinking, that's a great freaking song.
Yeah.
But then you get into all these other things and you're going, well, that's way deeper. Whether it's time signatures or things, just what makes it great is it appeals to the masses, and yet a music nerd is going like, did you hear that? Did you see what Jimmy did? See what John Paul Jones did?
And of course, this is
Plant.
and Stairway to Heaven's the song that had all the supposed backward masking stuff.
Ooh,
I remember.
Playing it backwards?
Trying to do it. Yeah, I actually recorded the whole song off of this very one on a reel-to-reel tape machine. Flipped the tape in such a way that it would play backwards, and then had the whole thing, so I could show people where the spots were, even though I think it's total crap. But
no, it's real, man.
Yeah, of course.
That shit's real. No,
so
there were messages. I'm kidding.
For sure.
If you
anyway,
believe,
so they have the...
Yeah, I'm going to say, if you believe that there's real messages in there, chime in. Let us know. If you've been inspired by the backmasking.
Yeah, exactly.
Led Zeppelin.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, so then of course on the other part of the cover here, they have all the lyrics to Stairway are on the back of the
I think
insert.
we got Steve with the cue here.
Yeah, we don't. He can just reset them. It doesn't
Okay.
have to. We don't have to be involved too much.
All right, I'm not
So
involved.
then this is kind of typical Atlantic
Yeah.
label where they put their. And once again, this is why it really didn't have a name. This was similar to artists formerly known as Prince stuff. It was just a symbol. It wasn't there.
Do you
That's
think he
all there
got
was to
that
this
From this?
side one. I don't know. That's kind of a funny thought. And their side two.
Okay, Prince, if you're listening, because everybody else seems to want to chime into
I know.
our show.
Call through.
Call through and let us know if your symbol was inspired by... Oh, I know.
That's what I mean. We've
That's
had.
right.
We've had.
But
the
we had
other
John.
side.
Yeah, we have everybody. The phone's
That's
been
what
ringing.
the phone keeps ringing from the other side.
Oh.
So this says. I can't. Audio new 82. I don't know what that means. But it says that on the. That's etched in. All right. So now here's the part that I wanted to. That we needed to take a second and show. And
You know, looking at the sleeve, I do like the kind of old English type.
Yeah.
What would that be? The text, or the font.
some
I should
sort of
say.
a script.
Yeah,
font
it's pretty
thing.
cool. I like it.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about this inside cover.
But did you mention that these are the lyrics of Stairway
Yeah,
to
Stairway to
Heaven?
Heaven.
Okay.
The lyrics of Stairway to
Just
Heaven are on the
looking at
flip
that,
side. This is the thing that a lot of people don't. At least I don't know. I've met a lot of people that have never seen this or understand what's going on here. Now, what's actually happening in the picture is hard to. You've got this. You've got the Watcher up here, with the Star of David in there, and he's looking down over this mountain, and then you got this little person down here at the very, very bottom that's looking up, towards the top. The way somebody showed this to me originally is he took it up and put it against a mirror. And that's how somebody first showed me this extra image that's in here that a lot of people don't notice. And so what I'm going to do, I don't know, do we go to a mirror? We just don't have a camera to carry over to a mirror. We've got one over there. But it'd be maybe we can try that afterwards if this doesn't work.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, we'll, what's that?
There's a mirror that will come off the wall in the bathroom.
Nah. If this doesn't work, then we'll do it against a mirror. The mirror makes it kind of fun.
Yeah, no, it is pretty cool. I remember you showing to me because this was something in college. You were like, "Do you know this?"
Ran to the
about
bathroom. We're like, dude, and we threw it up against the mirror. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to take this image, which is on the screen, and we're just going to go ahead and magically mirror it right now so you can see what we're looking at.
Special effects.
So there you go. So
session,
now you
yeah.
should be able to see, and then what you're going to see right now is that suddenly appears is that here we have the face of what looks like a jackal or a dog. And it's not something that you would ever notice if you just looked at the album. It's just half of it. But when you put it against a mirror like this, you can actually see this. And you can see what looks like, ears almost coming out of the top. But you can see this, what is pretty, I think, clearly some sort of a
wolf
some sort of a wolf or an animal or a
that's
jackal
what I always
or
thought
something
it was
like
like
that.
a wolf type of.
Yeah, it's really, really fascinating looking at that. But anyway, I don't know how many people have ever seen that before, and so we wanted people to show this as we're looking at Led Zeppelin IV because it is kind of an unusual thing. And is it intentional? I have no idea. All I know is that somebody pointed that out to me when I was a younger man, when I was a kid, and I thought that is the coolest thing that you do that, and you've got this image that pops up.
We didn't have the internet to entertain us, man. So something
right.
like, whoa, check this out.
And it's the other thing that was always interesting to me about this, not only just the cool image, which is, you can see the pencil marks, from the drawing, but the fact that it has this very specific tint and color, but then the Star of David has that extra brown.
Yeah.
Of all the things on here, they add brown to nothing else but that. And it was kind of an interesting thing to see.
To accentuate the light.
Yeah, it was just kind of interesting.
This is
that
an
way.
image. How many Led Zeppelin T-shirts have this image?
It's true. It's so great.
So
It's such
it
a-
is. It's iconic.
such a great picture. It's such a great image. To open it up after looking at this, you know, you've got this whatever the heck it was that we were looking at earlier. You know, you've got this image, and then the flip side of it is this other thing, and it's all just this.
There's no
leave
writing
it up
on
to your
it.
imagination.
Yeah,
What is this
that's-
supposed to be? I don't know.
But I think that's what makes it cool.
Yeah, it's great. Anyway,
Open to interpretation.
exactly. So it seems like we should say something. I mean, it seems like just in the middle of a thing where we just talk about Led Zeppelin IV as if it's just, but I mean, this is such an important album, everything about it. Thanks for watching this clip from our show. Please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and if you enjoyed this video, I bet you know somebody else who would enjoy it too, so share it with them. Go to our channel right now where you can watch full-length episodes, and thanks for stopping by.